we go, guys.
Here we
All
go.
Right. So
P. Diddy definitely everybody and did this everyone. P. Diddy was like, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go Meek Mill in the butt.
What makes you conclude that he definitely was doing that?
presented him with the Steele dossier, which had all of the like dirt.
That's the pee-pee stuff, right?
Yeah, all the pee-pee in it. Alleged Russian piss. Yes. And
Just play so dirty. They play dirty like a movie. What's the number one fear of having these big agencies have so much power? It's like everything else, man. Once you start running shit, you don't want to stop. But it is a weird thing to watch, right?
yes, it's bizarre.
The rumors are that Diddy was running some kind of Epstein-type deal where he was filming everybody. Who knows what's real?
That's what Diddy's lawyers, I think, said. It was like that. These are just trumped-up charges, not true.
When Homeland Security invade your house,
You got problems.
with dudes with...
Someone said that they weren't there to take stuff; they were there to delete everything.
Oh,
like
that's
the same
funny.
thing with Epstein.
Oh, that's funny. They never end. There's just layers upon layers upon layers. Genuinely love it when someone like Diddy gets caught, though. The glee that people have is weird. I mean, he had a lot of people at those parties, right? Well, if he really was filming everybody, you got a wild party. There's so many different stories.
What are you going to do?
I'm not doing that.
We're not involved in them.
I'm not
I was
involved.
never Diddy.
Telling jokes,
Like I told you.
having fun.
That's it.
Yeah.
Smoking dope, cracking jokes, making people...
That guest made some claims against Jay-Z, and even he ended up having to apologize to Beyonce as well, too. Y'all know Piers Morgan, big name in broadcasting. Let's take a listen to Piers Morgan's apology.
So think about platforms. The reality of the modern world is that pretty much everyone has a platform as long as they have something to say that other people want to hear. Jaguar Wright unexpectedly made several serious allegations about Jay-Z and Beyonce during that interview.
I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters.
Jay-Z has been notable by his silence since these charges were brought against Diddy. Why do you think that is?
That's what he does. He starts little fires everywhere, forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sneaks away.
It's not something we do lightly at a show called Uncensored. As I said in the moment, they were not present to respond or defend themselves, but now they have. There are legal limits on us too, and we apologize to Jay-Z and Beyonce.
It always sounds crazy and wild until it ain't, because what if she's right? What if all these things that she's seen, because she was a dominatrix, she was about that life. So when somebody that's about that life tells you about the life,
you giving her a lot of credibility?
She's seen it firsthand.
I'm not denying.
She was there.
Have you ever heard of this person?
I have.
So, okay, I don't know where parties you're at with that
No,
baby.
not parties, but she's been in front of the camera for a while.
Diddy could be an absolute dirtbag, guilty of everything. But also, Jaguar Wright could be looking for her 15 minutes of fame.
Song she was in?
No.
Big Pimpin'?
That's Jay-Z.
Yeah. She's in those two
She's a
songs.
backup singer.
She is.
She's
Backup singer for Jay-Z in 2001.
Okay, but she ain't Beyonce. She ain't Rihanna.
That somebody comes on a show and then kind of levels these vague-ish allegations.
I think somebody reported it was a cease and desist. It wasn't that. It was quite bluntly an ultimatum. Rumors, and then there's nonsense, and this is one step further. Remove that false accusation that's demonstrably false, or a court's going to order you to.
He meaning Piers Morgan.
Rob?
Removing it and apologizing for it, yes.
She is just saying, I've seen stuff. I have 3 people that could come forward.
She crossed the line.
Did she?
She crossed the line. Last week, you guys asked me, what do you think about her, about what she's saying? You know, you tell a story, and it does so well, and they do 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 interviews to keep getting people to want to invite you to their shows, and then now you have to embellish and exaggerate, and you have to keep making the stories bigger and bigger and bigger. She's crossed that line a long time ago.
Conversation was in relation to a lot of the coverage that different outlets are doing on the Diddy accusation.
You can't sue YouTube. You can't sue
Which is crazy.
You can't sue any of the social media platforms. You get on an actual network, when you get on a TV station, or there's nothing to gain from suing Joe Blow on YouTube that's just running his mouth. Now that corporation is liable for the things that are being said on their platform.
Joe Bohan was feeling refreshed, just back from a vacation, when he hit the studio for episode 760 of the Joe Budden podcast. Little did he know, the chatter about his connection to Diddy Combs would dominate the conversation. As the co-hosts laughed and joked their way through the first 20 minutes, the topic shifted to a more serious note. It was time to address the rumors swirling about Budden's alleged appearance in some of Diddy's infamous tapes. Around the 20-minute mark, Budden cleared the air with a mixture of humor and irritation. He even shared how his father had called him, curious about the rumors. While the conversation was initially lighthearted, it quickly became clear that Budden was tired of the baseless speculation.
Walk up in there, I'm seeing stuff that you see on the movies. This corner, this got going on. This corner, they over here doing this. But you know when people are out of their mind. And you know when people, they were dressed up like little Harajuku Barbies.
Like what?
Little people, okay? We're not going to say what type of little people. Red lipstick, like they weren't supposed to be there. I accidentally mentioned it too. Like it slipped out.
December of 22. You went to one of his parties.
Yeah. Crazy party. It wasn't gonna seem true because it was just too much. It was too
crazy.
many. It was too crazy. That party traumatized me. I mean, it had like a lot of people involved, celebrities and stuff. So I was trying to be real vague about it, but
How'd you get invited to it?
that was like, I want to introduce you to a Prince. He know a lot of celebrities, producers and stuff. He was a Arabian Prince.
Really?
Yeah. I wasn't worried about him being a prince. I was worried about who he actually knew. Ultra Music Week. It's like an event for like 2 weeks where people party, including P. Diddy. Star Island, like where P. Diddy stays or throw his freak offs at. And I knew it was something fishy. He kept saying, I got a surprise for you. I never knew that we were going to go there because I was there for 2 weeks and it was almost a month. It was basically a month by then. And he was like, no, because I just want you to meet one special person. Guess where we're going tonight? I'm like, where? He's like, to P. Diddy's house. I'm like, oh, really? Like to go sing? He's like, no, he's throwing this wild party. I'm like, oh, okay. And then soon as 6:30 hit, we went. We all got in the car, like a big Uber. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm about to meet P. Diddy. Oh, like I'm probably gonna have to sing for him. That's when stuff got weird. And that's why they lock up our phones, because they know what we see in there, it's he can get in trouble, like right now. They put our phone in this little bubble case. They can't get unlocked until we walk out. One of his sons, I'm not gonna tell you which one, but the freak off is inside the house and in the backyard, recruiting like whoever they wanted to go inside the house. They're playing loud house music, dun, dun, and it's real loud, so you can't really see nothing, but you're seeing everybody like walking around drunk, hopping around. It's still 7 a.m. People are walking around naked, period. Let's get into it. And they're drinking mimosas in the pool, but then it's like a waitress walking around giving people drinks, just passing people drinks, and people are just taking them. But I didn't take a drink yet. So P. Diddy's son was like, you. And I'm like, me? He gave me some shoes. So these shoes was like terry cloth, like robe shoes, white shoes, in the house with these. He was like, everybody who gets these shoes, you get to go in the house. They're literally selectively picking who they want. So I seen P. Diddy or whatever, and I seen him with the Prince. Something real crazy, because I don't like to really expose people. I'm doing something real. Well, that's all I'm going to say. The king of the world, jumping around, doing all this stuff. So I'm like, okay, that's regular P. Diddy. We're screaming like, girl, do you see him? Oh my God, because of the music. But what got me was how he walked up to me and was like, why are you not in the house? Started talking about all these things. Oh yeah, you're the one that Prince. He's like, oh yeah, it's very nice to meet you. Like your life is not going to be the same. But to get to the point, I ended up going in the house because he was on me like, go in that house. I'm like, okay. And the person that he was dating at that time, we're not going to say her name, but we all know, because he was talking to me for too long. So she came to like rub on his shoulders or whatever, and he just pushed her. So that's what made me go into the house, because I'm like, okay, let me just go in the house.
Budden, once tied to Combs through business dealings, like his time hosting a show on Revolt, made it clear that their relationship never extended beyond professional boundaries. Around the 56-minute mark, he then revisited how his business ties with Diddy led some to jump to wild conclusions. But for Joe, it was always about work, not wild parties. Co-host Ice tried to move the conversation along, reminding the group that they had already dug into the matter, but the fans were curious, and the timing of Budden's return from vacation only added fuel to the fire. Still, Budden didn't shy away from calling things as he saw them. His critique of Diddy, even with their past connection, showed that he wasn't about to hold back, keeping it real for his listeners. But Budden is not the only one bearing all and sharing his thoughts. Stephen A. Smith took to his podcast, The Stephen A. Smith Show, this week with a chilling prediction of his own, following Diddy's arrest news that sent shockwaves through the entertainment world. But according to Smith, this is just the beginning. During the episode, Smith warned his listeners that Diddy's arrest was likely the tip of the iceberg. The analyst, known for his fiery takes, spoke with measured urgency, suggesting that the case could implicate more of Hollywood's elite. Diddy, once known for his extravagant lifestyle and industry dominance, now faces accusations of running what authorities have called a criminal empire.
The other day in the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown may be the very last day Diddy was ever free for the rest of his life. Well, a whole bunch of people been at P. Diddy parties. I was at one of his parties before. I just didn't know it was one of his parties. Wasn't at his house. I didn't see none of the stuff. There's a lot of people very, very silent. I don't want to mention any names because I don't want to incriminate anybody. There's a lot of people who are conspicuously quiet. When you say that, no, I'm not who the feds portray me to be, well, what about what the video portrayed you to be? When we look at Suge Knight and what Suge Knight said, he talked about Diddy potentially diming out others and how the feds ultimately would want that to happen. I can't imagine that the feds ain't gonna want that to happen considering all the people that have attended Diddy after parties. But we also gotta pay attention to this too. The belief is there's a strong level of guilt attached to it. Now the court of law will prove it. See, these are the kind of moments where stuff can come back to haunt you. Who was there to help him? Did everybody run away? And if so, why? Nothing seems to be able to be done to help him at this particular moment in time. It does appear to be a very, very, very bad situation.
Ooh, that's my mama. Go mama. Oh.
She's getting a drip with me. She's hydrating. What's up, ma? Mom's a single. I ain't gonna hate on my moms. She's single. Yeah, my mom's single. Yeah. She don't stop. She could touch the floor with her palms. Hey, mom, what's going on? You starting to cook, right? I said no.
We're gonna have a big Thanksgiving here because I like to cook a lot.
Oh.
Ribs, fried chicken, cornbread.
I'm just getting closer with you. We love you, mom. Thankful for you. Let's go.
People who say they attended his infamous parties and are not surprised by the allegations against him.
This is Diddy. Like at a Diddy party, he's always gonna be turning up. Y'all not at Diddy's house, y'all not nowhere. I'm just wild on how he's just able to keep all that energy. Sometimes they provide breakfast in the morning and it's like you could chill.
The lawsuit suggests that the Duke of Sussex was one of the guests at Combs' infamous parties. Now Prince Harry has been named in a $30 million lawsuit against the hip-hop mogul, who is facing charges of trafficking and sexual abuse, allegedly attended by sex workers and underage girls.
In my opinion, I think that they're probably looking at RICO or racketeering charges. Each one of those charges carries with it a 25-year sentence. Digital evidence can be very, very tiny. And so when you're looking for flash drives, you are going to have to start looking in walls, taking apart furniture, cameras, those kinds of things, cameras that are recording, those kinds of things.
Agents were concerned that Diddy or his associates were deleting evidence.
That was my tip-off to why this evidence was probably digital in nature, which is exactly why, in my opinion, they searched the homes simultaneously at the exact same time. My guess is that they knew that there was a chance that evidence could be destroyed or was going to be destroyed.
He's a monster. He's literally a monster. This man is gonna go down.
This is incredibly disturbing footage.
He hosted what he called freak-offs, parties so brutal that the young men and women, from being drugged, they would be beaten, they would be raped, would sometimes vomit and pass out. They alleged that Diddy filmed it.
I've kept this very quiet for 14 years. I mean, it's been a very long time, and it was so hard for me to watch. And I cried for days because I just couldn't believe that that man was physically abusing her like that.
Certain that the amount of stuff that we've heard about is probably not the half of it.
He's a monster. He's literally a monster.
Friendly neighborhood, international rap mogul, superstar, designer extraordinaire, actor. You know, I do it all, baby. My homegirl Cassie right here. She's a human being. That's what we all love about her. Sure will love her one day. This bad boy, we ain't never gonna stop.
There's no way that he was doing this alone. He was enabled. He had multiple EAs and PAs, and I have no idea who was his fixer. Like a Shakespearean tragedy, how this man is gonna go down.
And those are extremely difficult cases to defend yourself against. Very difficult.
What's happening now, Cassie opened up the floodgates. So the damage he's done to so many different people, and hopefully these people can move forward from this. Hopefully.
Do you know Sean Combs?
Puff Daddy?
Yeah.
P. Diddy, whatever you call himself these days. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's part of what's called the Boule. The Boule is a branch of the Illuminati. I had sex with Cassie and Sean. Basically, he would masturbate and tell me what to do with Cassie. Sean talks a lot on on the phone and on the TV with speakers and stuff, and I was like a slave, okay? I had like 15 encounters, and I heard a lot of business, because what they would do is, I called herpes, and I came back and I sued him for the herpes and won. And Christopher Leons here was my attorney. They asked me to turn in that. Mark Garagos and Ben Mercedes were his attorneys, okay? It's possible, I threw everything out, it's possible I can produce a copy. The hip-hop agenda is an agenda to move drugs all over the United States. You need to involve the DEA. Okay, all the dope on private jets, which don't get screened by the DEA inside the United States, okay? They move cocaine and they move liquid cocaine in their bottles too. It's not good. He drinks it all the time.
The indictment paints a grim picture, alleging that the rapper coerced and threatened women to fulfill his desires and maintain his reputation. These charges have resulted in Diddy being held without bail, a move that Smith and his guest, attorney Ryan Smith, discussed in detail. He has now applied for bail for the third time. Ryan mentioned that the judge's decision to deny bail was influenced by the seriousness of the allegations. He noted that the judge was unwilling to take any risks, as there were concerns that, given the nature of the charges, Diddy might continue committing offenses if released, regardless of the bail amount offered. But it was Stephen A. Smith's broader warning that captivated listeners. He hinted that the federal government may be seeking to use Diddy to expose others in the industry. Smith speculated that if there was information implicating other individuals, things could become quite intriguing. He suggested that Diddy's downfall might lead to others facing consequences as well. In short, for Smith, this isn't just a legal case, it's a reckoning.
Who is Diddy's mother. I come to you today as a mother that is devastated and profoundly saddened by the allegations made against my son, Sean Combs. To bear witness what seems to be like a public lynching of my son is a pain too unbearable to put into words. It is heartbreaking to see my son judged not for the truth, but for a narrative created out of lies.
These allegations are egregious. Ferret this out in the court system. We intend to prove our cases. I've talked to these victims, and I believe them. So that's exactly what I would expect his mother to say.
Just the fact you've got 120 already that you're repping, and you're getting so many calls, 12,000 calls in 24 hours, including many new allegations involving minors. What does that tell you about the scale of all this?
It's true. I want people to know that are people that call that have bits of information, bits of evidence, video, perhaps pictures, thousands of people calling and hundreds of alleged victims. And how could that possibly be the case? And then, of course, we're particularly interested in people that had interaction with Mr. Combs and what they say happened to them. Conduct that allegedly occurred over a 25-year period, multiple different venues, each time has been alleged. Typically, it involves some sort of illicit substance placed in someone's drink, taken advantage of. And that's kind of the overarching theme here. Glance, you say, my goodness, that's just impossible that many people would call with information, particular modus operandi. It makes a lot of sense.
I don't know that I could keep him off the stand. He is very eager to tell his story.
This is the type of indictment you would expect from someone in the mafia.
Reputation is over. The United States government, they start making this case as a takedown of a successful black man.
Brought in new lawyers to try and get this done. Appeals court says the judge was wrong. The judge should have allowed him to post bail, which is exactly what they are going to try and do. The judge abused his discretion because ultimately this is a discretionary thing. And what the trial judge was saying is, look, he is a flight risk and a danger to say we're going to superimpose our view of it over the trial judge's view of it, in the sense that he's tried to intimidate and influence witnesses in the case. It's going to be hard to make that case to reverse what the trial judge did at the appellate court level.
Alexandra Shapiro is one of the nation's premier appellate lawyers. She is the real deal. Suppose if there's some grounds for appeal that we're not seeing, Harvey, she's gonna find it.
Diddy is gonna surely need a dream team, much like OJ, and we are looking forward to the trial of a century.
We got Akon at the airport. The way he spoke about this, Hollywood generally has not like spoken out.
The business in itself has taken a shift. Music hasn't been the greatest role model for our youth. I just think it's a spiritual shift that's happening. Mind our own business, and we just got to sit back and relax and watch.
Somebody as a target for their success. I mean, at least that's how the lawyer's playing it.
And whatever people are doing on their personal time is something they have to deal with on their own.
It's not the first time we've heard this rhetoric. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, but it's a defense mechanism. At the end of the day,
jail is terrible for anybody. The bigger they come, the harder they fall, and I sort of think that's what the prurient interest of the public is. To have the exact opposite, what a life-changing moment. I mean, it's just incredible. Why is he not being given bond? And, you know, we could debate that all day long. He's got the resources to flee, but he's so recognizable. And isn't he innocent until proven guilty? You have this much evidence and so much stuff out there. Can't think as a human being, the judge isn't thinking that some people are more likely to be guilty than others. And what if he's vindicated? What if he's acquitted? Then how do you ever give him back those few months of incarceration? I mean, it's a legitimate concern. You know, no judge wants to wake up and read the headlines the next day. Sometimes where there's money, you can craft a unique solution. And now he's gone and he fled from justice. So that's what's in the back of most judges' minds. Sounds like special treatment, but the truth of the matter is, to incarcerate somebody like him, all the money he has and all the resources he has, they couldn't craft some solution that lets him be under some form of house arrest. Maybe some solution where his money could help us craft. I mean, he could build his separate jail cell. I wouldn't want to be those judges. There's sort of a no-win situation for the judge. What we would do for anybody else, which is keep him incarcerated.
and he knows better than to be talking about the things that he does with Big Brother Puff on national television. Apparently not. Everything ain't for everybody.
He believes he's innocent. I believe he's innocent. And we're going to fight this case with all of our might until we don't have to fight any longer.
The fact that there will be some people named in these lawsuits that will raise some eyebrows.
He has an out option, and that is popping a cyanide pill.
That are so serious that it would likely leave Sean Combs in jail the rest of his life.
But Choke, I mean, you might have said the same thing about Jeffrey Epstein.
He's going to be indicted for the murder of Tupac and the Notorious B.I.G.
He's at the top of the pyramid here. Generally, you give deals to the people who are lower in the pyramid in order to get them to testify against the top.
An alleged secret video of an A-list celebrity participating, and the unnamed celebrity knows about this. So 2 anonymous sources have told the New York Post that the video is being shopped around to media outlets. A-list celebrity is, quote, horrified that this footage is being shopped around. It says it's not revealing who the celebrity is because it's not clear if he was a minor when the footage was filmed. Sources say both Combs and the other males' faces are visible in this sex tape.
The person who has the tape really doesn't want to shop it around. They really want to help and give it to wanted to directly sell it to that person. That person does have the opportunity to purchase the video. If I were them, I would absolutely purchase the video.
That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.